Hey, Parker Walbeck here with FullTimeFilmmaker.com, and today we're going to be doing a studio makeover for my boy, Tanner Townsend. Everyone, this is Tanner Townsend. He's a good friend of mine. He's actually the one who introduced me to a glide cam.
That's right. All of you guys, I get the credit for everything that he's accomplished.
That's not
everything.
True. And he's built up to like, what, 12,000 subscribers now on YouTube. Go subscribe to him. He is a beautiful musician, but there's a problem. His voice, the audio, it's wonderful, but the visuals, check out this video, his latest video. He sent that to me and I said, dude, your voice is awesome, beautiful audio, but the visuals, man, let's work on that. That lighting, that's not so good looking. The background,
stabbed me in the heart.
I don't know about that background, you know? So we came into his office today, check it out. A 10 by 10 office space. This is a beautiful.
That's all you need, bro. All you need.
Just not very aesthetic, just not that pretty. So we're gonna come in with some lighting, come in with some acoustic foam and just redo the whole thing. So we're showing you the before. This is what his videos look like. This is what the space looks like. And now we're gonna make it all over and show you what we're doing in the process. Check it out.
I'm gonna do the punch. Bam! Life goals.
There you
right
go.
There.
All right, so first of all, Tanner was filming on my C200. So he's filming himself right there. He doesn't have a lot of room in here, so we're gonna show you how in a very confined space to make this look better. And we're actually going to use the SL2, a little $500 camera, just to show you guys that it's not the camera that's making this look pretty. We're actually gonna downgrade the camera from a $5,000 camera to a $500 camera. It's really not in the camera, it's really in everything else. So first off, let's fix the lighting. We're not gonna use this lighting anymore. We're gonna shut that off because...
Check this out, check it out, ready? Perfect, even better, right?
Yeah, here, come here.
Come on, okay.
Let me see this.
He doesn't want me to touch it.
These lights, they don't look good. They're overhead, which means you're going to be having raccoon eyes. It's just not a very flattering direction of light. So we're going to bring in a light. I'm gonna probably place it right in front of the piano so it's coming down on his face. So let's grab a light here. We're gonna try this one out. I brought a bunch of cheap lights that I bought just to test out cheap gear. I have a lot of nice gear, but I know not everyone does. So we're gonna be using as cheap a gear as we can to show you guys that you don't need monies to make things look good. So this guy I think you can get for like $100 off of Amazon. I'll provide links in the description to everything we're talking about today so you guys can know where to buy it. Let's move that piano back just a tad here. Just enough so we can fit this light back there. Okay, Tan, come sit down for me. Get in your spot. Turn this guy on. Get an idea of how that looks. Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna turn on my reference camera here, see what it's looking like. So we wanna be a little bit more over here. Okay, very nice. Now, as I'm positioning this light, I'm looking at the shadows on his face, and I have a lot of lighting tutorials here on YouTube and in my course, but the shadows are gonna kind of tell you what you're looking for here. I want, when he's looking at the camera, to see some good shadows on the face, and when he's looking at the piano here, I still want to see some shadows. So if we have the light too far this way, he's gonna be too frontal lit. It's not gonna be as dramatic as I would want it to be. So kind of push the light farther this way, instead of being directly out here, to make it a little more dramatic when he's both looking at the camera and when he's looking at the keys. Look at the keys for me. All right, so here's what we're seeing right now with the light in the spot that it's at right now. A couple problems. We can see the light, so we're gonna bring that up higher. Very nice. That'll do two things. It'll take the light out of the frame, but it will also create more drop shadow on the chin, which is usually more flattering. So the next thing I'm noticing is some of this garbage that's chilling here that we don't really want in the shot. So we're just clearing the frame. It's not just what's in your frame, it's also what's not in your frame. So our key light is looking good. I like what we're seeing, but we're gonna bring in the backlight now just to kind of fill in some of the back here, give him a nice pop. So come over here real quick. We're gonna test out this guy. This is even cheaper than that guy. This is like a, I don't know, $30 light. We'll link it for you, show you what it is like. But man, this is some cheap gear we're showing you here. And we're just gonna put this right behind his old head. See if we're in frame here. Looks like we're okay there. I have no idea what this is gonna look like, so we might hate it. You might need to buy extension cords for like 10 bucks Amazon. You guys got this. Your mom probably has one. Let's turn this guy on, see how she looks, see if I like. I'm liking. So these cheaper lights are gonna have some color cast. This one kind of has a bluish, greenish cast to it. This one's a little greenish. The colors aren't quite on, and that's what you're gonna get with cheap lights. It can still work, still gonna be better than whatever your current lighting is in your house or whatever. But just be aware of that. I'm seeing a little bit of blue coming on his back that it's not ideal, but it's a cheap light. All right, so we're gonna show you the before and after. Scoop, go ahead and hit that light over there. So that's before, now after. There's the after. So we just get a nice little outline on his back of his head and his shoulders there. And it helps light up the background a little bit here too, which is nice. So it's not just one spotlight on him. I think we're looking good now with the lighting. Feeling good about it. Only thing I'm not feeling good about, check out this background. I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. This whiteboard, it's just, what does it have to do with the music video? Nothing.
My
so
favorite whiteboard.
Well, so we're now gonna take all this out. Oh, that's much better. A fresh wall, no garbage on it, but it doesn't look pretty still. So we're gonna grab some acoustic foam over here. All right, so this is what we're gonna be putting on the wall. We scoped it out first on the ground to make sure we got a pattern we liked. This acoustic foam is probably 50 bucks. It's not that expensive, and it can quickly turn a plain nasty wall into something that looks like a studio. In this case, someone who's playing music would have acoustic foam. It does actually help with the acoustics in the room as well, dampen the sound, make it a better sound quality. So dual purpose, looks good and increases the quality of the sound. So, oh, here we go. Hey, 8 feet 5 inches. We've kind of scouted out how we're gonna put that up here. Now let's apply. And just like that, 20 minutes later, oh, now that looks pretty. Let's take a look at it in our camera. Oh yes, now we're talking. All right, so we need a little bit more on the bottom here. So we're just going to add a few more strips because this is still in the camera. Just like cheese, it's easy. All right, sit in your seat. Let me see how that looks. Come on.
Oh, thanks.
Well, that looks mucho better. Now let's bring our backlight back in. We got our key light, we got our backlight, and we got a much nicer looking background. As I'm looking in the camera, I'm thinking he's lit up real nice, but the background's a little bit darker than I would like. If we turned this key light down, now we can bring up the whole image. Kind of brought up the exposure on the background, and that's looking pretty nice there. All right, now the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna attempt this. It may not work, it may work. I want to separate him from the wall to create some more depth. Depth helps create a more cinematic image, and when he's this close to the background, you don't get any separation, and so you can't create any shallow depth of field to make that background blurrier than him. We're gonna attempt moving this desk over to that corner of the room and see how that looks, and then move the whole piano this way. That should create some depth. Let's try it out.
Someone broke that.
That was just the unimportant leg.
Did it break?
Nah, a little bit, but yeah, you want it this way. You don't need
It's
those.
fine. I don't even want it.
Yeah, you want them. You want them a little, you know. All right. And just prop it up on that broken leg.
Oh, perfect.
That's a successful try. Tripod will go about here. Okay, let's check it out, see what our shot looks like now.
See, how can I look the least fat in the neck area?
So Tanner asked, how do you make me look the least fat? So we've already done it by creating a drop shadow. Look that way, Sonny. The light's coming down here, which creates a drop shadow here, which helps eliminate any light showing on the chin fat, which makes the face look skinnier. So that's how you do it right there. Last thing, now that we separated from the wall, our wall isn't lit up as much as I'd like it to be. So we're going to grab the second light to this light setup. This came with that other light. 2 nice cheap lights in here. Check out before and after. So we're having an issue where our background isn't as bright as we want it, and so we don't have any more light to put on the background, so we're going to just scoot this main light away from Tanner to create a less bright light on him, so we can just turn the exposure up as a whole. There we have it. Let me check that out now. Get in your position, Tan. Yeah. That's better. Okay, so here we go. This is the final setup. We got 1 light on Tanner here, 1 light on our background, and also backlighting Tanner. We've got our key light right here pushed up against the wall, so it's a little farther away to allow for the background to be a little more lit up, and we've separated the piano from the back wall to create some depth. Now, you'll notice that we have the computer set up in the background now, so that's now become a part of our background, which allows us to see what he's doing. He's recording a song, so it becomes a part of the room. Instead of just a plain back wall and some, random whiteboard, now we have things that are relevant to what he's doing. He's recording music, you can actually see him recording that music, and it serves as a nice backlight to kind of help light up the background too. And like we mentioned, we're looking at the key light here. You can see that it shadows under his chin, giving us a nice drop shadow, creating that dramatic look that we like. All right, now our last thing we're going to do is, this is a kit lens, which is great. As you can see, the image looks fine. But ideally, it would be a lens that had a more shallow depth of field. This can only go down to a 4 aperture. So I'm going to swap this out for a nicer lens, a 1.4 lens. All right, so now we've got on a Mongo lens. It's a 1.4 20mm Sigma lens, but you can see the more shallow depth of field you're getting there. It makes it look a little bit more cinematic. So that's it for the studio makeover. We're now going to show you a before and after, what it looked like before we came in here and made it all over, and now what it looks like, just making a few cosmetic changes with a key light, some backlights, some acoustic foam, and all of that costs maybe $200, $300, maybe $400 worth of stuff just to kind of bring it all in and make it feel more cinematic and more like a real studio, like he's actually recording professional music. So now his beautiful audio is going to be accompanied by some beautiful visuals. And also, this isn't the first time that we've done this for Tanner. I shoot a lot of music videos for him. In the past, we've shot makeshift music videos in his living room, and to make it look beautiful and cinematic, we went from having no lights to having kind of a drab, again, not so cinematic look, to adding a fill light to make it more even lighting, and then we didn't like that as much either, so we eventually added a key light like we did today by scooting the piano up, again with a backlight behind him, which gave us a much more cinematic, dramatic look. So this can be done anywhere, doesn't matter how tight the space is. We're in a 10 by 10 square foot room here, so there's just not a lot to work with, and yet we were able to make this look like a much more professional studio. So go check out Tanner Townsend, subscribe right here. Make sure to check out Full-Time Filmmaker. That's where we do a bunch of tutorials just like this, teaching you how to make any scenario cinematic and make your tutorials or your YouTube videos or your client-based videos come to life and just stand out from the crowd. And that's the point of Full-Time Filmmaker, is trying to help you guys make a living doing this, making money by creating videos. And you can check out my free 1-hour filmmaking training where I give away my top 10 secrets to achieving cinematic shots. And you can check that out by clicking over here. So watch the free training, subscribe to Tanner, subscribe here to Parker Walbeck, and that's it. If you guys have any further questions, please let us know.